Yes, I'm Chandra Thomas Whitfield. I'm a Denver-based multimedia journalist, but I'm a freelancer, and I am a first-time attendee of this conference, and it's been wonderful. I actually heard about the program through an editor of mine, and she mentioned that they were looking for some fellows from Colorado and suggested that I apply, and I'm just really grateful that I did. It's been a great opportunity. I had heard of the organization but had never been to a conference, and as a freelancer you're often isolated and you're kind of just sitting there with your own thoughts and your own resources and your own perspective. And when you get to these conferences, it's a great opportunity to get some of the latest information on the cutting edge science out there, to network, to get story ideas. And as a person that works from home, I'm just excited to be around people. You know, you work in a newsroom, you have the luxury of kind of bouncing ideas off of colleagues and discussing things. And so while working from home and being a freelancer is great, you know, sometimes you are sort of on this island and you feel like you don't really have a lot of people to talk to and share information with. So this has been exciting. I've been very pleased with the diversity of topics. And what I like is the sessions that I've been to have been very approachable. Nothing felt like you had to have a PhD in like public health just to understand. And all of the panelists have been willing to share their information, share studies, share ideas, sources. So I would say this was a win-win for me, and I'm just very glad that I got to come to Phoenix. Well, I would like to say that my joke is that I will write for food. So imagine me holding up a sign on the side of the road. So I'm pretty well-rounded, but when I look at my work, I feel like the tie that bonds, so to speak, is I love to talk about disparities, particularly racial disparities, economic disparities, and I also tend to gravitate toward justice topics. And so I was very pleased to learn that those topics were here in Phoenix at this conference, and it didn't feel like it was just pure traditional medical coverage. And you know, because those are the topics that mattered to me. And I was very pleased to see the diversity of the panelists that I was able to speak with. Yes, I am a native, proud Southerner. I'm from New Orleans originally, but I spent the second half of my life in Atlanta, Georgia, and in 2012 I relocated to Colorado. And talk about culture shock. You know, just the vibe and the issues in the South vary greatly from the Rocky Mountains. But you know, it being a journalist, I think the key is you have to be open to new experiences. You have to be flexible, and you know, I really did have to tweak a lot of things about my work and the focus of my work by moving regions. But you know, it took some time, and I was able to make that happen. And just to seal the deal, I won a couple of awards in Colorado. So I feel like, okay, I've gotten the hang of this. And again, conferences like this, they tend to help you make that change and make that shift and learn about things that you may not know about. Mm-hmm. I would just say Atlanta is sort of just a different kind of place. I mean, it has a nickname as the Black Mecca. So I think that diversity in the South tends to be black and white, you know, literally black and white. And so moving to Colorado, I think I had to just be more conscious of the fact that diversity is so many different things. It's not the Southern definition of like black and white. You know, Colorado has a huge Latino population. And in fact, it's the #1 racial group behind whites in Colorado. So having to recognize that diversity is going to include Native Americans, it's going to include Latinos, it's going to include LGBTQ people. And I think, you know, the more you can as a journalist be open to the concept of diversity and the value of covering different communities, then you know, you grow as a person and you grow as a journalist. I think the best part is that I've really honestly met some nice people, like just organic, easy conversation. People have shaken hands. Where are you from? Where are you from? And we talked about our work, and You know, I think that's what journalism is about, is meeting colleagues and seeing what other people are doing and the work that other people are doing. And particularly if you're like a person that's into disparities and justice, it can be pretty overwhelming. But to know that others are working in that area and are passionate as well, it's sort of reaffirming, and it just kind of reminds you to stay focused on the work.